Mr. Montani?
Here.
Mrs. Sexton? Here. Mrs. Trainer?
Here.
Ms. Heen? Here. And Dr. Marion?
Present. On to announcements and recognitions. Dr. Castagna.
Yes, our first announcement is our high school show band festival will be Saturday, September 13th at 7 o'clock p.m. at the high school stadium. We would love to have our community turn out. Just another announcement, it's not on the agenda, but we really had a great first day of school. In my 26 years, this was probably the best first day I ever experienced. The staff was very organized and well planned. I got to experience 13 grades of kindergarten coming into the primary school, and it was a well-oiled machine. It's a huge amount of credit to everybody. This was a busy summer, and to see the first day actually happen was a special moment for us because there was times we thought it was never going to come. But a lot of movement, a lot of changes, but the staff handled it very well. So I want to thank everybody on a great first day and our very unexpected second day of school with the water line break. Everyone stepped up. The other building principals offered support. Killington sent security guards over to help with the parent pickup. Our staff followed the kids, walked them over the bridge to the middle school. Just a great job and an unexpected turn of events. Also a first for me in my career on the second day of school. So thank you to everybody. Thank you for the community for understanding that we had an emergency and we had to adapt quickly too. So great first 2 days.
Do you want to remind them that you'll know later this evening?
Yes, thank you for that. And also, it's still an open issue. The gentleman from Pennsylvania Water told me that after 8 o'clock p.m. tonight, he'll give me a status update on what it's looking like for school tomorrow. If he can't give me a definite answer, we will likely go virtual. I don't want to hold to the morning, so call virtual day, and then have parents scrambling to have daycare coverage for the children. So we will make the call tonight on whether or not school will be in person or virtual tomorrow. You will get that communication from me later this evening.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Castagna. On to public comments on agenda items. Ms. Heen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to invite any resident or taxpayer who wishes to address us regarding agenda items. Please state your name and address. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes. Kelly, did anyone sign up?
Yes, Thomas Roberts.
Thank you.
Thomas. Solicitor, press the button and beside the. Thank you.
Check. Thomas Ruberts, 352 Vanadium Road, Scott Township. Agenda item 12.1, additional security cameras. $1,150,000 was approved for the new security system. Great, wonderful. While most of these costs are spread out over a 10-year period, spending an additional $73,000 or approximately 6.5% additional from the 1.15 million concerns me. Kudos to that vendor sales representative for getting some more revenue for that company. Good for him. Good for them. Unfortunately, it seems all too easy for the board majority to easily hand out more money like this. When now that school has started, fellow parents of fall sports athletes are seeing what the budget reductions have done. I doubt most people here were aware that, for example, from what I've been told this year, the district is not paying for cross-country invitational registration fees or buses. $73,000 could have probably covered most, if not all, of those athletic costs. Or I hope most of you are sitting down, prepared to hear these words. A moderate, sensible, over time, tax increase would have covered the athletic costs. Not asking for a ton, just moderate, sensible, over time. Because I'm for sure paying more out of pocket for cross-country costs than what I would be paying monthly in my escrow account that would have come from any tax increases. Thank you.
So that actually is a great question you asked, and the board had lengthy conversation and communication about that topic. We were actually going to speak to some of those concerns when we got to the agenda item, but I think it's fair to say we can speak to that now. So just to give a little background, went out months ago. Horizon was the winning proposal, the most qualified low proposal at $1.4 million. We then negotiated with them to chisel that number down to the final proposal of $1.1 million. So it was through our work that we were able to reduce the $1.4 million down to the $1.15 initial proposal for the same amount of work, 10-year warranty. I think that's important to remember. Cameras are outdated in 3 years. If the camera breaks, they were going to replace that camera with the most updated version from now and 10 years from now. There's no other project in this building in the history of Chartiers Valley that had a 10-year warranty attached to it. So it's a long-term solution. Second, there are several items attached to this additional proposal. Number one is, first and foremost, camera areas that were just missed. They were missed when we did the specs, that we did not have the complete coverage we thought we had. We had to add into this proposal to be under that warranty. Horizon has to do the work, and while they're on site, it's much cheaper to do this now than to try to add on something later. The second, there are additional items like the intercom system here at admin. If any parents visited a building the first 2 days, you'll see a new intercom system that speaks to you, welcome to the Chartiers Valley School District, so on, but also has video recording capabilities like your Ring doorbell camera would. So the cloud storage system will give those systems also the ability to store like our cameras do for 30 to 45 days. So while it is an additional expense, it's a one-time expense for a 10-year fix, and it's something that we initially had paid out of capital projects for the large $1.15 million that was previously approved. This additional money would come out of fund balance, and that was explained to the board and discussed with the board. So anything, board members, did I miss anything that I want to?
Yes, it didn't come from board members, it came from the administration, from the lack of personnel in assessing the cameras, correct? Because somebody up there claimed it was from the board majority. Is that true or false?
No, this recommendation came from the administration. Initially, we thought the old cameras could be used to cover areas, and we found out they could not. And we didn't find that out until Horizon was already done. So internally, the recommendation was made to me that we can't get the coverage that we thought, and I brought that recommendation to the school board.
And I thank you for that. And definitely, I would think that any board member on here would spend the appropriate amount of money to keep the students, staff, and community safe. Would you not?
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
I think the big thing is, anytime you do a construction project, you're guessing what's going to happen throughout the completion of the project. And there are a lot of projects in this district that are incomplete, that now we're having problems with. This is completing a project and seeing it through. And yes, it's an additional expense, but 6% of $1 million project is an exorbitant amount for additional work.
Certainly, certainly. Well, thank you for that. Okay, moving on to executive session, I'd like to announce that, no, I would like to announce that we had an executive session prior to this public meeting to discuss personnel, legal, and safety matters. Anything for the superintendent to report, Dr. Pistagio?
Nothing additional.
Okay. Mr. Raccoon, anything for the solicitor's report?
I have nothing to report outside the items that we discussed in executive session this evening. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the informational agenda. The SHASDA, Mrs. Sexton, anything to report? Nothing to report. Mr. Montani, anything for Pathfinder?
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Okay, so the board for Pathfinder met last Wednesday. The 2023-24 audit for the school came back clean. The first day of school for Pathfinder was today. They have 84 students. They do not yet have a current breakdown of how many students are from what district, but we should get that information coming up at the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chura, anything for Parkway Weston Technical Center?
We don't have a meeting in the month of August, but I did speak to the administration out there, and the first week of Parkway went rather well. We had a few minor transportation issues, but that was from the individual school districts. Other than that, it went rather well.
Okay, that's great. And that reminds me, transportation, the parking spots at the high school look kind of neat.
credit goes, that was the seniors, or the juniors' idea last year. This year's seniors who approached me and asked for that. And they did a phenomenal job. It's neatly done and beautifully done. It's not sloppy at all. I think it looks great.
It looks great. Okay, moving on to the approval of board meeting minutes. May I have a motion to approve the board meeting minutes for August 12th, 2025?
So made.
Motion made by Ms. Heen, second by Mr. Chura. Any discussion on this item? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? The motion passes. May I have a motion to approve the 2026 ESY summer program for the current school year?
So made.
Motion made by Ms. Heen. May I have a second? Second by Ms. Drury. Any discussion on this item? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? The motion passes. May I have a motion to approve the 2025-2026 high school student handbook?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Chura. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Heen. Any discussion on this item? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? The motion passes. May I have a motion to approve the Chartiers Valley High School to participate in the Chick-fil-A Leader Academy?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Chura. May I have a second? Second by Ms. Heen. Any discussion on this item? I'm familiar with this, and I'm glad the school district, I know when the Chick-fil-A was first built, they approached the school district and it was actually not followed through with providing this leadership academy, and I know they do it at Arlington. So I'm glad that they've approached you and you've come to an agreement to do this for our students, so that's great. We will. So thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? The motion passes. May I have a motion to approve the high school fall drama performance of The Play That Goes Wrong, scheduled for November 12th through the 15th, 2025. All shows will begin at 7 p.m.
So made.
Motion made by Ms. Heen. May I have a second? Second by Mr. Brodsky. Any discussion on this item?
Thank
All-
you, Mr. Superintendent, for moving up the time because we're getting home so late, so we want to address that real quick.
So, the reason why it's noted on the board agenda is a change. All shows will begin at 7 o'clock p.m. Typically, we're starting shows at 7:30. Dr. Say, when I did approach the music department to have this discussion, and we asked them to consider it for a year, which they agreed to, move it to 7 o'clock and just see what the comparison is. They're worried about ticket sales, and some of the professionals that have to be involved in the play, getting there on time. But for me, and they agree, our students' concern is number one. The students that are involved in these plays and musicals are often involved in many advanced courses. They're our best and our brightest. They really are. And so it was very late last year for them to turn around and get to high school at 7:30 a.m. the next day. So we're just moving it a half hour just to give them a little bit of breathing.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? The motion passes. May I have a motion to approve the varsity girls basketball team request to travel to Maryland for a shootout tournament in January 2026?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Chura. May I have a second? Second by Ms. Heen. made by Mr. Chura, second by Ms. Heen. Any discussion on this item? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? The motion passes.
That's coming from the construction fund, correct?
That's correct.
Yes. May I have a motion to approve payments of the construction invoices as presented?
So made.
Motion made by Ms. Heen. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Chura. Any discussion on this item? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? The motion passes. May I have a motion to approve the first reading of policy 247, hazing, and policy 249, bullying and cyberbullying. A policy review is required every 3 years, and there are no changes to the current policy.
So moved.
Motion made by Ms. Heen, or Mr. Chura, second by Mrs. Trainer. Any discussion on this item? All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? The motion passes. On to public comments on non-agenda items. Ms. Heen.
Yes. Non-agenda items, anybody want to speak on that? Again, please state your name and address. Keep your comments at 2 or 3 minutes. Kelly, did anybody sign up?
Yes, Thomas Rupert's.
Thank you.
Thomas Rupert's, 352 Vanadium Road, Scott Township. What I'm about to say is nothing against the drivers who have 1.5 million of my support. But what I want to say is on March 11th, $14,000 was approved for a transportation route assessment and optimization. If that happened, ask for our money back. The first 2 days of school in my neighborhood has been a disaster with the buses. I know the first week of school can be rough, but this one of epic proportions. One of the buses from the Bower Hill area of Scott Township ends up in or near, I can't quite tell, in or near Bethel Park, near Market District. So that's Bower Hill all the way over to Bethel Park. Another bus arrives to school after school starts, which is a problem in itself, but the bigger issue is that those students probably don't get to have the option for free breakfast, the most important meal of the day. And before I came here, I was just informed of an issue with what we'll call the out-of-district buses for our students that do attend out-of-district. Very late getting those individuals to their education places. And a parent was apparently told that you should work on getting a carpool instead of relying on the district buses. So that doesn't sound very good if you ask me. And then the second quick point I want to make is class sizes. Again, I know it's the first week of school, but I've heard things of over 30 students plus in a classroom, which I don't know how that's good for the learning environment of the students or for the ability to teach for the teachers. So once things get settled down, it might be worth, I don't know if you can take an audit of the class sizes to see what's going on there. Something I just heard this afternoon, because parents like to talk to me, if you hadn't guessed by now. So thank you.
So my answer to all of those would be for parents to address those concerns to me. I would be glad to answer any of those questions. Whomever from our staff told a parent that they should carpool, I would please tell that parent to let me know that information. That is an unacceptable answer and nothing that we would ever approve. As far as the transportation audit that was done because we run very inefficiently. There continues to be false information spread, even this morning on a news story, about what our costs for transportation are in relation to outside bids. Now, I'm not going to run to the news and try to create more of a show on camera like our current regional representatives are that represent our bus company. We don't want to bargain on the news. We don't want to bargain on Facebook. But they continue to put out false information about what it costs in comparison to the RFPs that we received. They know, and they were made aware, that those costs are much cheaper than what we are currently paying and include a $3.5 million purchase for our current buses. That's a huge number that we just continue to ignore. But I think more importantly, that audit was part of transportation plan for this year. That's our internal issue that we have. The second piece, because busing continues to be a false narrative that's on the news story, and I was very frustrated when I woke up and saw that this morning, because I have been trying to get our bus union and our Western regional representatives to negotiate with us since June 23rd. They canceled that meeting and have ignored our requests to come back to the table. But yet they run to the news and continue to get false numbers spread. So they're here tonight. I want to meet. Let's meet. Let's negotiate. I'll meet you tomorrow if you want to meet. I've been asking since June 23rd to do that. And I think we can clarify some of this false narrative that you continue to push out publicly. Thank you.
Okay, on to I'd like to announce that the next board meeting is September 9th, 2025. And on to adjournment. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Torrance, second by Ms. Heen. All in favor? Aye. Have a great evening this week. Meeting is adjourned.